So hello everyone, welcome to Triaright. This is Pack 365. Myself Sujit. So in this session, we are going to learn what is append access mode and what is exclusive access mode that's available in our file handling. Okay. So first we are trying to understand what is this append access mode. Okay. If I try to see, we have already seen how to read and how to write. Then what is this append access mode? Because in a file we have just tried to open and performing some operation, so mainly in the file we are trying to doing to write or read. Then what is this append access mode? So whenever we have tried to use this append access mode, it will create a new file if the file will be not created, or we can say that not presented. Okay, it is just like our write access mode, but there is some addition will be there. That's why we can say that this is called our append access mode. Okay, so yeah, so now we are trying to discuss. So if the file will be not available and we still try to open that, so a new file will be created. Okay, so if the file will be already existing and still you want to open that, so at that time the data will be not erasing, but the file pointer, or we can say that the cursor will be pointing at the end of that particular things. Okay, so now we are trying to take the sample 2. Okay, because we are trying to use the sample 2 as well as the new file to create that. Okay, so if I try to use any access mode, first you need to open. So here we are trying to use the open method. Okay, so here we are trying to open the file called our sample2. Okay, first we are trying to take the sample2.txt. So how to represent this append access mode? So to represent this append access mode, we need to use your lowercase a, and this open will be giving you a file object, and we are trying to save this one. Okay, after this one, guys, just see now if I try to run this one, we know that the sample2.txt will be available, but in case of our write access mode, the data will be erased, but here the data will be not erased. And what about our file pointer? So how to check our file pointer? By the help of our object reference. Then here we need to use our tail method. So previously, whenever we are trying to use in case of our write access mode, at that time our file pointer will be pointing at the starting of the cursor, but now in this case it will be represented at the ending of the pointer. So this is the main difference between this append and our write access mode. Then what about the file will be not available? Okay, as of now we know that the file will be available, that's why it will be not deleting, but the file pointer will be reflecting in the last. Now if the file will be not available, still we are trying to create this one, then a new file will be creating and the file will be pointing to the starting of the cursor. Okay, if you see here also. Okay, then here first thing we are trying to check the file will be readable or writable, because we are trying to perform mainly the two options. Either we need to read or either we need to write. So here first we need to check this is readable or writable. So how to check? By the help of our object reference. So here I need to write readable, or we can say that readable, and every time you need to pass your parenthesis and the next one called our file object dot writable. Okay, so in the both the case, if I try to open a file by the help of our append access mode, in the read will be give you the false as my output, and in case of our writable it will give me true as my output. Means we can say that if I try to open a file by the help of our append access mode, so at that time we cannot read the data that's available, but we can write that. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, now if I try to adding some data, okay, we have two options. We can use our write or we can use our write line also. Okay, so I'm just trying to write some data, or we can say that adding some data into our sample.3.txt. Okay, so how to write? First we are trying to create a new data, or we can say that now we are trying to adding the data directly. So to write the data, we have two options, one called our write and another called our write line. So here we are trying to use our file object name dot write. Okay, we can use the write line also, but here it will be taking one mandatory argument that is called in the form of our string. So here we are just try to add a new morning. Okay, now if I try to run this one, so guys, just see the control flow of this tail method. Also, if I try to, after creating, you need to close that. So how to close that? By the help of our file object, and you need to use your close method. Okay, now if I try to run this one, so here it will be data will be adding and it will be pointing to the last of that particular thing. But in case of a write, it will be reflecting our starting of this. Okay, so guys, just see the data also will be added in the original memory. Also the data will be adding that particular thing. Okay, so this is all about our append access mode that's available in case of our file handling. So first we are trying to write all the theoretical point, then only we need to understand what is our exclusive access mode that's available in our file handling. Okay, so come to our word, we try to write all the theoretical point. Okay, so this access mode, okay, so this access mode creates a new file, create a new file if the file will not present. Okay, if the file will be not present, it will create. If the file will present and you still want to open the file by using append access mode, then the data will not overridden, but the file pointer points at the end of the content, or we can say that data. Okay, so this is all about our append access mode. Okay, and we have already seen this append access mode will be readable or writable only if I try to add some data, then only in that case you need to use your append access mode. Then guys, what is this exclusive access mode? Okay, so the exclusive access mode says that this access mode create a file if file is not available. Okay, here also it will be same thing. If I try to create a file, or we can say that if the file will be not available, it will be created. If the file will be already available and still you want to open that, then in that case the exclusive mode will be get throwing an error. Okay, so this is the main difference between our append and exclusive. In case of our append access mode, if the file will be already existing and you are still trying to doing that, it will be not deleting the data and it will be pointing to the end of your file pointer or the cursor. But if the file already existing and you are trying to use your exclusive access mode, so at that time here it will be throwing an error that file already exists. Okay, then we are trying to check it is readable or writable. So if in the interview they are going to ask you why we are trying to use the exclusive, so at that time you need to say that to use, if I try to use the exclusive access mode to avoid overwriting existing file, because in this case if I try to use your append access mode, then if the file will be existing we can add that, but if I try to use your exclusive access mode we cannot adding the data. Okay, also it will be helpful to one-time file creation. If I try to create the file for one time only, at that time you can use this exclusive access mode. Okay, now we are trying to see that particular things. Okay, first every time we are just trying to create a file. So how to open a file? By the help of our open method, and here first I try to create a new file. Okay, so here I need to give a sample for .txt, and here we need to specify, or we can say that to represent our exclusive access mode, you need to giving the lowercase x. Okay, after this, now if I try to run this one, a new file will be created. Okay guys, just see, a new file will be created, but still now we don't have any data that's available. Okay, now first thing we are trying to check it is readable or writable. Okay, so how to check? By the help of our file object, then here you need to write your readable and the next one called our writable. Okay, file object dot writable. Okay, also we are trying to see the control where the controller will be going to exit. Okay, so here I need to write tail method. Okay, so yeah, now if I try to run this one, so guys, just see the output. In case of our readable, guys, just see the file will be already existing. Okay, I need to create a new file that is called 5 because we have already created. That's why here it will be give me out. So guys, just see, as of now we don't have any sample file. Okay, so guys, just see here it will be created, and here it will be saying that if I try to use your exclusive access mode, it will be not readable, means we cannot read the data or content that available in this sample5.txt, but we can write that. So to use this one, we can use write method or write line also. Okay, if I'm try to doing the same thing as compared to the append will be created if the file will be not existing, but if the file will be existing, still you want to create, so at that time here it will be give me an error. Guys, just see, if I'm try to run this one, so here it will be throwing me an error that file exists, means the file will be already existing. Okay, now here it will be saying that we can write the data by the help of write or write line. So now we are trying to do the same thing. Okay, so here if you see, the sample file will be already existing, guys, right? So it will be give me the error. So now we are trying to write some data by the help of our write line. Okay, so here I'm just trying to write file dot write. Okay, so file object. Okay, so here I need to write file object dot write, and in this, so this is file is created. Okay, so after that I need to close that. Okay, so after every operation I need to close the file also. Okay, now if I'm try to run this one, so guys, just see the output. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you, every time if you see, if the file will be already existing and still you want to create, it will be throwing the error. So make sure that whenever we are trying to practice also, you need to taking care of the file will be not created. Okay, every time you are trying to use the new file. Okay, so to overcome with that, in the upcoming session we are trying to see the exception handling. Okay, now I try to use the file handling. In the upcoming classes we are try to dealing with our exception handling. So at that time we are try to use the same concept to overcome with this. Okay, now we are try to find the error, but in that case we are try to catch the error. Okay, so guys, see, every time we are just try to write, then make sure that the file will be not available. If the file will be available, then we cannot add that. Okay, so this is all about our exclusive access mode that's available. Okay, so now we are trying to write all the theoretical point. Okay, so exclusive access mode. Okay, so what is this exclusive access mode? In the next line we are just trying to write. Okay, so to use this access mode, to use this access mode, so I'm just trying to write use to create a new file. If, okay, it is used to create a new file if the file already exists. Okay, if the file already exists, it would create a error that file exists already, or we can say that file exists error or if you are try to see the error also, you can see here. So guys, just see, come to our word. If I'm try to run this one, because our sample 6 already created, so guys, just see, file exist error. Okay, if the file will be already done, then what is the use case of this? Okay, so what is the use case? Okay, because in the interview they're going to ask you, because in that the append and the exclusive both are same, but the main difference it will be give you a extra thing, the error means it will be helpful in our day-to-day life. So what is the use case, or we can say that the advantages will be used to avoid. Okay, so we can use to avoid overwriting. Okay, overwriting in the existing file. Okay, existing file. Then the next one, good for one time file creation. If you see, or also if you means in the previously in the append, if I try to create every time, it will be pointing to the last of the things, but in this case it will be helpful to create only one time. If I try to give the same thing, it will be gives the error. Okay, so this is the use case. So creation, so here you can write. Okay, you can write the content into the file by using write, write and write lines. Okay, so this is all about our exclusive and append access mode that's available in our file handling. In the upcoming classes, we are trying to dealing with our binary file, means how to open a binary file, because as of now we are just trying to use the text file. Then how to use this binary file and what are the exclusive access mode that's available, we are trying to see now. So that's all for this session. Thanks for watching Triaright.